So what we have here is the third quarter earnings report for Black Desert Online. I mean, Pearl Abyss, but basically the same thing. So we go over this every quarter. It's important to understand that this is not what's going on right now. This was months ago. Okay, so like this was during, this included their new expansion release. So they should have made a lot of money. They should be up. This is the quarter they're supposed to be like really high, because like obviously their expansion releases, they make a bunch of money. This was like the I don't know, this may have been like August, September. Maybe it's like July, August, September. I don't know exactly what they consider third quarter, because sometimes what they'll do is they'll cut it on like a certain day so that they can include certain things. Basically, it's a bunch of corpo mumbo jumbo to try to make it look as good as humanly possible to their shareholders. Okay, but this is Pearl Abyss's report to the shareholders. Now, I'll tell you, their last few, I'd say every year, just about every year outside of the expansion, they're losing money. Like last year they lost money in all three quarters, with the notable exception of the one where their expansion released. This year, I think they technically gained money in the first quarter. I'm pretty sure when we went over it, they got like 1% growth or some shit. Pathetic. Like basically even. Second quarter didn't go so hot, as if I remember correctly. Third quarter, we'll see. All right, but needless to say, we expect to see them like gaining money on this quarterly earnings report. You expect it to be up on this earnings report because it was their expansion. All right, let's take a look at it. Disclaimer, whatever. Okay, so important stuff. All right, operating revenue. So this is how much money they made before expenses. How much money did their primary live service game, in this case Black Desert, make before expenses, right? And it looks like it made a decent amount now, but I don't know what their expenses actually are. Okay, this is the chart that matters. Okay, yeah, so you can see that last year they had a rough year. Q3 last year, they were at negative 10%, but last year, the expansion released in quarter 4. So they were up by 48% last year. So you'll notice that, again, they flipped from minus 10% to positive 48%. The quarter over quarter, where the expansion released. This year, they went from negative 29% to positive 27%. You will notice that those two numbers still are negative. That's not good. Quarter 3 would be January to March. January to March is quarter 1, brother. Because January is the first year of the month, right? Or first month of the year, right? Q1 2025 would be January through March, right? This is 1%. You know, they went up by 1%, 0.5, basically nothing. Then they lost a tremendous amount of money in quarter 2, and in quarter 3 they gained money. This is honestly, you don't look at this graph, this just loses. This just is going to confuse you. This graph is looking at, don't worry about it. This is not actually like things you should look at. This though, net profit, right? This is after all expenses. So all expenses, they look at all the revenue and all their expenses, put it together. Did you make money? If the percentage is positive, they made money. If the percentage is negative, they lost money. And you can see they between Q2 and Q3, they've still lost money this year. So, and do you think that Q4, this is P8, yeah. And do you think that Q4 is actually going to be higher or lower than Q3? I think it's basically going to be this. If I'm being honest, I think it's going to be pretty bad. I think Q4 is going to be a little rough, bro. And so if that's the case, and they only netted 1% in Q1, they lost 29% in Q2, gained 27% in Q3, they are a little less than breaking even this year. Last year, they lost a of money. They don't show you they're not showing you Q2 because it doesn't go back more than a year. But if you guys remember, that's right around the time that they were doing like the Heidel Ball last year. People got really upset. A bunch of people quit the game, right? They lost a stupid amount of money last year. This year, they're on track to lose a lot of money this year. I'll be honest with you, this is going to be a net tremendous negative. I think that they were expecting Adana to do a lot better than this. I expected this number to be a lot higher than this. Now, I remember I spent a lot of money in Q3, and I could not carry them through this. I spent a shitload of money in Q3. I did my part. Did not matter. Did not matter. They still did not make enough money to turn profitable, even including their expansion and new class release, right? The expansion and the new class came out at the same time. They expect a much higher, much severer climb, right? Like, look at this. -10 to 48%, right? That's a 58% flip from Q3 to Q4. This is, honestly, this is about the same, right? This is about the same. But like, they were so negative in Q2 that they actually were not able to turn the profit. They weren't able to turn the corner here. And Q4, and their problem here is that Q4 is going to be a disaster. I think that their Q4 is going to be a downhill slide, because there's no way they make more money in Q4 when their expansion, they already blew their expansion. There's no new class release. No, there's no real content to talk about, right? I'm ready for Savior. Hopefully she's good. I think we're all ready for Savior, but I think that's all we're getting. Oh, that's another thing about these quarterly earnings report. It should tell you what we're getting next. Part of the reason we look at this, okay, so Black Desert Live Service, new class Wukong, new region Adania. So again, this is all of their content for the year. All of it. Everything, like, this is everything. Console, Deadeye, Wukong, Adventurers Festival, mobile's getting a bunch of stupid shit. Eve. By the way, I'm sponsored by Eve Online. We're going to be playing Eve in like a week or something. A little less than a week. I'm sponsored by Eve Online. I think it's on Tuesday. Normally I don't stream on Tuesday, but they were like, hey, will you play our game? I was like, Pearl Abyss sponsoring Blue Squadron? Okay. Sure. Money. Money. I love taking money from Pearl Abyss. What a great opportunity. Now, this, again, this is not promising. This is not promising. Revenue by platform. Okay, so you'll notice that, yeah, NAEU make up 65% of the market share. This is the light bar, guys, is NAEU. Okay, the slightly darker, this is Asia. All right, and this is Korea. Okay, so overall, this breaks down how much each region is contributing to the revenue. Okay, so again, NAEU, despite the fact that they don't listen to anything that we have to say about the game, make up 65% of the revenue. This is why I call for no Pearl November. Because although Q3 is up, I would love to see Q4 be a catastrophic tank. I want to see them squirm. I'm going to be honest with you. If you don't listen to your player base, man, you should take the hit. You should. You listen to us or you lose your bottom line. That's how I feel. Now, to be clear, I don't think that this graph will change very much overall. But you'll notice that, again, 52%, 56%, this was much lower last year at the same time because people were really upset with the node war system. People were really, really upset with the node war system and like the PvP changes, like the one-sided deck changes and everything. And you'll notice, look at the difference, right? Now this time, we make up 65%. That's the most in a year, but this is, I'll be honest with you, this is pretty close to what it normally is. This is pretty close. This is a little bit more of a return to what the distribution normally is. Because I look at this every single quarter of every year. But revenue by platform, you can see that PC, it makes up like 85% of their overall income. 10% of it is made up of by mobile, and 5% is console. That's right, 5% is console. Okay, the little number right there. Okay, PA still won't listen to us. Oh no, they will. Last time we did this, the last time we were boycotting the game, they had to give us the old node war system back. They went into the Calpheon ball on their hands and knees and sucked our dicks. That's what they did. They gave us the hybrid node war system back, and they gave us a bunch of other shit that we wanted. But we haven't really banded together since then. We have not really gotten really angry as a group yet since then. And so now I'm like, well, I think it's time again. I think that we just call for no Pearl November. Nobody spends a dime, right? You spend as little money as possible on the game. Let them hurt. Let them hurt. No in-person ball this year, down bad. Okay, I heard this. I cannot confirm it though. Whoops. Hold on. Let me hold on. Where's the ball announcement? Does anyone know where that is? Is it in notices? Okay, for this year's Calpheon Ball, we're placing a greater emphasis on announcing our new class and the winter update. The winter update is just the events that they're doing in winter, by the way. That's like literally nothing. It's just the new class. So that's all we're getting. As such, we'll be pausing the offline pen. So it is true. As such, we will be pausing the offline event part of the Calpheon Ball. While we understand the disappointment this may bring, we are committed to preparing thoroughly so we can meet your expectations. Wait, didn't they say that they were going to invite all of the people that won the tournament to the Calpheon Ball this year? Wasn't that like part of what you got for winning the tournament? Or am I gaslighting myself? They sure did. So like was it the Calpheon Ball or was it the Heidel Ball? Yeah, masterclass winners were supposed to be invited to the Calpheon Ball. Well, we understand the disappointment. Okay. We once again extend our sincere gratitude to all our adventurers who have helped make Black Desert what it is today. We look forward to sharing joyful tales about taking our next step forward together. Join us at Calpheon Ball 2025. I'm going to be honest with you guys. They have not done an offline ball event since COVID. My understanding, I don't remember them doing an offline, like fully offline, no in-person event since COVID. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. But that's what I remember. And like 2023? Nope, 2023 was in person. It was in, wasn't it in Korea that year? Yeah. No offline, so BDO is done now. I'll be honest, the year that I went to the Calpheon Ball, remember, 2022, they had the Calpheon Ball in LA, and they invited all the partners and everything to the ball. They flew us there. Our hotel and room and board, like, so the hotel and the flights were all covered for the partners to go to the Calpheon Ball. And they put us up in the Hilton. Or the Hampton or whatever. It's like a 4-star hotel. It's really nice. It's a nice hotel. Anyway, it was like 4.5 stars. It was a really nice hotel. That being said, the following year, the Heidel Ball, they didn't even pay for the partners to go to the fucking ball. They paid for one hotel room night. Okay, and to be fair, the Heidel Ball was at Heidel Castle. So, one, their expenses in renting out the castle were probably much, much higher. But two, they didn't pay for the EU partners to like fly there and stuff. They didn't pay for the travel for everybody. They didn't pay for me to travel. I had to pay the money. It's all tax write-off, but you know, whatever. What are you going to do? Now we're seeing no online event at all. And I got to tell you, this is a bad sign. At the 2022 Calpheon Ball, we left that Calpheon Ball with a backpack full of about $400 worth of merch. They gave us, I'm not joking, guys, at the Calpheon Ball 2022, everybody that went to the Calpheon Ball 2022, we got a Visa gift card for $100. Just a Visa card that had $100 on it because it was in the budget. They were just, Jaehee Kim was just throwing shit around. I got a free processor for like an AMD Ryzen 3D or some shit from it. Like really nice, right? Yeah, and in 2024, we got a t-shirt. We got a t-shirt. I'm not joking. That literally, we got a t-shirt. I wore it like a couple days ago. And then this year, there's no offline event at all. I gotta tell you, that's guaranteed. They don't have money. Guaranteed, this is a money thing. This is not like a, oh, we're putting an emphasis on announcing our new class. Dude, all they're releasing is a new class. That's it. The winter update, this is fluff. This is fluff. Anyone that's played BDO knows that the winter update is just like their standard winter events. Like, hey, there's going to be a Christmas tree in Heidel. Yeah, here's what the world's going to look like. That's it. Okay, it's nothing crazy. All right, this is the new content they're looking at. And to be clear, that means that most of the ball is going to be talking about Savior, and then there's got to be something that they're going to try to fix. I guarantee you that they can't make a 2-hour ball. around just a new class. And if there's no other new content, like we might get a teaser for the new region, but nothing crazy, right? They would have mentioned it here. They would have mentioned it here. We'll get like a teaser with nothing else. It's going to be quality of life changes. And I guarantee you they're already like, oh shit, we really f***ed up. And I guarantee you look at it, this revenue report, anybody that looked at this and was like, oh my God, they made money, it's a failure. No, this is a disaster of a revenue report. I'm just going to be honest. This is a complete disaster. When you come out of your expansion and you are still negative, that is a serious issue. Like, you're still negative on the year. That does not happen to Pluribus for their... This is their flagship game. If Black Desert is not making them money, they are losing money. Like, that is just how it works. EVE Online makes them pissable amounts of money. They're trying to sell it. Okay? They're trying to get rid of EVE. Like, this is not a good thing. This is not a good thing. And then with the announcement of this being an offline event, this is because they don't have any money. They're trying to save money. To the best of their ability, they're trying to ride out the storm. And my message to Pluribus, who I know is going to watch this video and my coverage of this, is to listen to your player base. If you listen to your player base, we would not be celebrating you getting absolutely in the ass. Listen to what we want. We want group content. Okay? Actual group grind zones that matter. Okay? Actual group grind zones that matter. All right? And no more weekly gated bullshit. You need to alleviate the weekly gated shit before, add it to the drop table, whatever. Add these fragments of Adana to the drop table. These pieces right here. These need to be on the drop table for all Adania region areas. They can drop one every 10 hours. I don't care. Get rid of the weekly gated content in your shit game. If you do not do this, it will not be No Pearl November. It'll be No Pearl 2026. You think we're kidding around? We want group content, no more weekly gated terrible content, and make Node Wars 2 hours again. You worthless pieces of shit. If you don't meet our demands, we will literally continue to never spend money again. We will laugh as your stock share price plummets into nothing. Okay? You will get a slight, but you will get an increase from Crimson Desert. You will get an increase from Crimson Desert for 2 months. And then we will laugh as you plummet into nothing. Okay? Give us what we want. Or be homeless. I wish it didn't come to this, but this is where we're at. We're the consumer. You do what we want, not the other way around. You give us what we want. We want group content. No more weekly gated bullshit. Stop gating your grind around Agris. Stop encouraging us to AFK fish. This needs to be on the drop table for Adana, period dot. Okay? Or we refuse, or we will literally refuse to continue spending money. If you think that November is a one-off, you're crazy. We're going to wait. We're going to see what you give us in December. If you don't give us anything that we want in December, that's it. You're cooked. It'll be No Pearl 2026. Think we're around. Anyway. So the rest of this. Let's take a look at the rest of this. Operating expenses. You'll notice that their operating expenses in Q3 are much higher than their operating expenses in Q1. You'll notice that Q1, their operating expenses were like really, really low, right? Q3, their operating expenses were much higher, probably because more people were playing the game. Or a bunch more people came back to play the game, and they have to maintain the servers for them? I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Employees. So they have less employees than they... In Q3, they lost employees. They are not growing. They lost employees, still had higher operating costs, and barely made money. Now, here we go, live service. This is their plan for us. The Arena of Solaire PvP Masterclass. So we're already... So this is what they're telling their shareholders, guys. Like, hey, this is our plan for the fourth quarter. This is what's really going to pop off for us. These two things, then the new class and the Calpheon Ball. That's it. So we're already in the middle of it. It's literally just the new class. That's it. That's all we're getting. Console is getting Ataraxia and Adania. Mobile is getting a PvP tournament. And Land of the Morning Light Part 2. Have fun with that garbage. Eve is getting a Catalyst new expansion pack and an Alliance tournament. Growth strategy. Did they forget us on the growth strategy? No way. Existing IP expansion. Eve Frontier continued demo test. New IP Crimson Desert. Ramp up marketing and prepare for launch. They didn't even include, there's Black Desert on the picture. We're not even on the growth strategy for the company. There's no expansion. There's no like growth strategy. It's prepare the new IP for launch. Guys, we are so... There's not even an expansion teased in this... And like there's nothing. It's just the new class, right? They don't even like normally they're like, yeah, we're teaser for the new region. Nothing. It's just new class. And then what we've already got. Oh, this is bad. Oh my God, this is so bad. You forgot your primary IP in your growth strategy. They didn't forget, guys. That's what's scary about this. I don't think that they forgot. I think that Black Desert is not on the growth strategy for 2026. They're not trying to grow BDO in 2026. It is Crimson Desert year. That's it. They're going to do marketing for Crimson Desert, which in fairness is probably going to be a great game for a few months. Guys, is this the end of the road? I've never seen them not talk about their next expansion. Or put... Like, BDO is supposed to always be on their growth strategy. I think this is it, bro. I've never seen BDO not be on the growth strategy before. Ever. Here's all their financial statements.
By BDO, hello where winds meet.
Dude. I don't think that Pluribus is prepared for the Where Winds Meet revenue drop. I think that November, December for them is going to be
Brazil
rough,
Cheer
dude.
Dex 100. Do you think we'll get info about Mountain of Eternal Winter Part 2 or Valencia in the past next?
Who? Friendly reminder to everybody that at the Heidel Ball last year, they gave us a 10-year timeline. 10 years. That was a year ago. Now we're not even on the growth strategy. Crazy, bro. All 10 devs are getting fired next month. Honestly, good, because those devs sucked. Bring back the old devs that are currently working on Crimson Desert. March launch date announcement. Crimson Desert got a launch date. March 19th, 2026, but we already knew that. This is so cooked, dude. Again, continue demo test. Eve is on maintenance mode. You expect to be mentioned like this, right? Existing IP expansion. Eve Frontier, just continue the demo test, right? You expect BDO to be mentioned in a similar regard. We didn't even get mentioned. That is so alarming. That is so cooked, dude. What does this mean, Dr. Blue? I think it means that BDO is definitely struggling. Even though this quarterly earnings report shows that it is technically up, you expect that during the expansion, right? But, I mean, look at their previous expansion. Like, this is how their normal expansions look. And that was Land of the Morning Light Part 2. Adonia, for all intents and purposes, was a stronger expansion. It's just, they had to get out of the negative. Negative 29% is brutal. Absolutely brutal for quarter 2. And I think quarter 4 is going to be tremendously bad. Okay, yeah, guys, I'll be honest with you. I think BDO might be in a little bit of trouble based on how this quarterly earnings report looked. Because Q4, you guys got to know, Q4 is going to be down. Everybody should know this. Q4 is going to be down badly because they haven't released any new content, right? We've seen, like, guys, let's look at quarter 4 on Steam, shall we? Guys, Q4 on Steam. Q4 on Steam looking a little rough. Looking a little rough, and we're still not even into December yet. November keeps... Honestly, this is the worst November in 4 years, at least. Hold on, let me look. This was their expansion release last year, so... That... This was not the expansion release, but... November 2022, minus 5.24, still not as bad. November... Oh, 2021 wasn't as bad. 2020. You have to go all the way back to November 2020. And to be clear, October was just as bad there. So if we follow this trend, theoretically, December should be up by 2%. Theoretically. Theoretically. I don't know what happened 5 years ago, though. I wasn't even a content creator then. I was just playing the game like a normal person. So... yeah, this should tell you how Q4 is going. This was Q3. To be clear, this was Q3. Right? October, November, December should be Q4. This is rough. But I guess August, September, I guess July, August, September is Q3. Right? And they were positive. But October, November is going to be negative. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Doesn't this always happen? No. No. This only started happening in 2024. In 2024, Perlibus started recording like serious losses on stuff because they ripped PvP out of their game and like made a bunch of changes people didn't like, so they lost a lot of money. You could see that reflected in Q2, Q3 of last year. It was rough. It was rough. But like now you can only see Q3 here. Or negative 10% in Q3 here, right? And we really only saw that in the previous years. Perlibus was typically it had the same cycle, but they were making money every year. This year, they have not made money, and we're past their expansion release here. So if Q4 is negative at all, they're just net loss, huge net loss on the year. On the year. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'll be honest with you, this does not look good. Right? They made a lot of operating revenue, that's for sure, but their operating expenses were also up proportionally.